And you're just in time for Richard Mwenja Exclusive. Indeed, it is a privilege to have your company with us. And today, we continue unpacking conversations shaping Kenya's political and governance landscape. And who better to help me bring such conversations home than this renowned think tank? The first of his name, Professor Herman Manyora. How are you doing today, sir?
Good.
You're well?
Good, sir.
So much is happening in this country, but how about we begin with people shifting goalposts? Now we are seeing a number of members of parliament from Mount Kenya region reconsider their earlier stance on Gachagua's impeachment motion. Kieni member of parliament, Tetu member of parliament, and a few others therein. So to what do you actually credit this new position? They are now not supporting the motion against
First of all,
Gachagua.
Politics is dynamic and people change it. Wartime Prime Minister, UK Prime Minister, Winston Churchill said, eating my words has never given me constipation. Politicians say this, I say that. It's normal, it's part of politics.
Really?
Number two, the heat. And you know, this is a tribal country. The ethnic card in this country, you cannot ignore. So you vote, you sign to impeach Gachagua, you go back to Nyeri and people ask you. You don't even need to go. The way calls are coming to your phone, mpaka inachemuka moto.
It is already happening at the grassroots level.
Yes.
That's why they are saying signing up for the impeachment is not literal.
And do remember this, and it is a fact anybody can counter-check. The leadership of this country, the leaders, elected leaders, are going in one direction, the country is going in the other direction. You may vilify Gachagua, but Gachagua has a ground. Even the people who don't like Gachagua, who openly say he's not a good man, don't support this impeachment. They say we have more important things to do than to impeach a deputy president. They also say they don't see the difference between all these people. Why choose one? Yeah. Why can they all go? All of them, not two of them. Why can they all go? That's what people are saying. So this, it can inform sudden change of mind. And as we move, as we approach the impeachment date, we will see a lot of dramatic moves. Especially as I suspect the courts could extend the public participation period.
It could?
It could. If it doesn't, then what is the court there for?
Now, in the event...
How can you do public participation? If we agree, it is not a requirement. But now that they have introduced it, and also that it has been used to quash certain legislation, so they are just being preemptive, to be careful, to introduce it, though it's not required, because it has been used to strike out certain legislation that has been already taken place. If indeed you must have public participation, is it possible you can do it in one day? With a short notice of 3-4 days, then people just come, and only one place in a county.
But in the
can you call that public participation? You can't. So the most likely thing, the way I see it, the courts would extend the period. And if that happens, the impeachment has collapsed. Because the people, in 3 weeks, 291 will be 180.
So by Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, declaring only 1 day for public participation, would you say that that was a deliberate attempt to emasculate, this entire process?
Yeah. You know, let me tell you, there's so much. This thing could be a game. This thing could be a game. So you do these things so that at the right time, the courts quash it. But the
speakers of the National Assembly are supposed to be impartial during such processes.
He has never been impartial, so let's not go there. He started, his first assignment was to show how impartial he could be.
Moses Wetangula?
Yeah. He ruled against common sense and everything and facts. Azimio had the numbers. Moses Wetangula ruled the other way.
So what are the
It's on record. I'm not the one saying it's on record. Azimio had the numbers. But he forced leadership of the House to Kenya Kwanza.
So in the fullness of time...
And the numbers were speaking, including clear letter from the Registrar of Political Parties and from IBC. So, which Moses Wetangula? Moses Wetangula is a very good man. I've been to his office and he gave me chai and mandazi. He's a very good man.
You went there for tea?
Yeah, tea and mandazi. I'm a lawyer. But, in terms of being impartial, if you are looking for somebody who is impartial, please run away from Moses Wetangula. He cannot be impartial.
You've been here for quite a while, sir, and you've analyzed Kenya's politics and also the legislation process. But in the fullness of time, do you see Moses Wetangula going down history as the worst Speaker of the National Assembly? Now that you mentioned about him being impartial from day one.
Worst, I don't know, but certainly...
Not the best?
He has left a lot to be desired.
All right. Now, in the event that this public participation window is extended, do you think it will play to the favor of Rigathi Gachagua or to the favor of President Ruto?
Of course. Gachagua.
He could mobilize the numbers on the ground?
Numbers can only go down, they can't go up. And let me tell you this, why do you think some MPs will leave? Because they will be realizing perhaps while they were given 200,000, there were those who were given 10 million. You see the social media rumor saying some leader, some UDA leader was given 4 billion. Sasa alikuwa anakuangalia hivi, anakurushia 1 million. Anaangalia jamaa anapiga kelele, anapatiwa 5 million. Anaangalia mluya mmoja goigoi pa anampatia 100,000. So it is possible, and I'm just saying the MPs have told us in the past, not us. They have told us they receive bribes to make decisions in parliament. We have not said it, they have said it. And it's on record. It's only in their own answer. They have said as little as 10,000. And from all the places in toilets, they have told us. So supposing somebody discovered while he was given 150,000, there was a guy who was given 15 million. A number of zeros were added.
It isn't the same for everyone.
Yeah, they realized, hata jamaa ameenda amenunua kitu. This guy was given 70 million. He went and bought an apartment. Upmarket. He bought 2 apartments at 5,000 each.
Just like that?
Yeah.
From a single motion?
Yes.
But then...
Hey, alipatia 100,000 shillings. So if the window is open, if this thing is extended by 3 weeks, the numbers will collapse.
That is it. But now we are seeing that the best artillery DP Gachagua can deploy at the moment is making a robust legal team to come on his defense side.
Yes.
But then again, what should be the bread and butter of in terms of submissions from his legal team over this issue?
No, the lawyers will isolate issues. They are political issues. They are things of process. If you bring party issues, the argument should be exhaust the Jubilee, the party. Whatever disciplinary processes first before you make it a national issue. If you bring a legal issue, that legal issue must be determined first. If you say Gachagua owns property through children, how do you know it doesn't belong to the children? You must exhaust that. You must determine that. And you must also show not only do they own it on behalf of Gachagua, but the money came from corruption. It's a long process. Yeah, you can't use it as a ground. You cannot use it as a ground before it is determined. A determination must be made on some of these issues.
It makes sense.
And then a lot of them are generalities. Like what's wrong with owning property? Since when did it become an offense in this country?
You find more of these accusations to be subjective and not objective?
Yeah, and general. There's nothing that can... You see, the impeachment of a president or a deputy president, it's a serious matter that requires serious grounds. Not rumors, not innuendo, not generalities.
So having the numbers in parliament ain't enough?
Numbers is not enough. You can have the numbers, but if you have a serious legal team, they can crack some of those things. They can burst the bubbles. They can expose. You only need one serious thing to hold everything in abeyance. To say this issue must be determined first, because it's going to be the basis upon which the deputy president will be removed. We have to determine it. If you say he stole, that must be determined. You cannot make that a ground of determination that the Gachagua stole before it is determined. In other words, we have a problem in this country. First, we are lazy. We don't think. Secondly, we don't know how to identify people who can help us when we have a problem. But more seriously, we tend to over-rely on lawyers.
But they seem to be the
even in issues that require brains, not lawyers. First, you have a brain to brainstorm an issue before you bring in a lawyer.
It ain't about getting the best minds in town in the name of lawyers?
No. So, some of the lawyers can't even see that point. And then you also need a sharp lawyer who would understand the politics, the law, and the dynamics of all these things.
Do you have one in mind that you can name?
I have, but I cannot mention here. But there are good lawyers in this country. A couple of them. There are not many, but there are a few. They are a little expensive. They are biased sometimes. They can't come to your side. You don't expect Orengo to go and defend Gachagua, for example.
Maybe Ndegwa Njiru will.
Ndegwa Njiru could do, yeah. People like, and you see, this I'm saying, this country, we rarely look for capable people in all aspects. I'm telling you, legal minds and serious minds seated in a room will only identify one thing and focus on it.
And that is enough to save Gachagua?
Yes. This thing must be determined first by a court of law. A competent law of competent jurisdiction to determine whether Gachagua is a thief before it becomes a ground for impeachment. Then you go to the Constitution. Fairness. Fairness, fair administrative action, natural justice, and so on and so forth. How could Parliament, which vetted people who had unexplained millions made in a year, clear them to become ministers? And then a couple of months down the line, they want to vilify and crucify Gachagua for having property that they have in 2 years.
Double standards?
The Constitution already doesn't like that bit of unfairness.
Very well.
Yeah.
Moving on swiftly, sir. There is this parliamentarian from Mount Kenya, none other than Kenya Member of Parliament Ndindi Nyoro, who has continued to maintain pin drop silence on his position on Gachagua's impeachment. And he's not the only person. We also seen from Azimio Babu Owino maintaining his silence over the issue. Do you read wisdom behind their silence, or it's a political strategy for them?
You know, it could be a strategy because they know. They know that the ground is not for this thing. They know people are not for it. So Ndindi Nyoro, I think his timing, I think he must have talked to Ruto and told him, my future will not go well, so spare me, let me not. But the ground is also not stupid. Because among the people who think they will be given this thing, they will not. Because that's what will irritate the mountain. Because you cannot replace Gachagua with a man from Nyanza or Western. The mountain will revolt. So Ruto will be in the mountain. In the mountain, you can't give
Kimani Ichung'wah?
No, let's start with Kimani Ichung'wah that is not in the line. Kindiki. Kindiki is peripheral. It's not quite mountain, it's peripheral.
It's not at the center?
No, it's not at the center. You lose the center. Number two, he's a flower girl in terms of power dynamics in the Mount Kenya. He's not anybody. He can't sway the mountain.
He ain't solid enough?
Yeah, the same can be said of this lady.
Anne
Waiguru. They are just people. What the thinking of the mountain will be. You have removed a man who can stand for the community, and you are giving us boys, people you can play around with. That will force, I've said this before, I think, that will force Ruto first to the mountain. He will not take Kindiki. He will not take Anne Waiguru. He will not take Ndindi Nyoro. He will look for people like Mwangi Kiunjuri, fighters.
Really?
Yeah. Within Kenya Kwanza. I can see nobody seeing that name Mwangi Kiunjuri. Watch this space. Watch this space. Because you give Ndindi Nyoro, he was the first person to begin antagonizing who? Gachagua. Do you think he can become a beneficiary? Even if he has kept silent? No, he can't. Look at his age. Look at his experience. He's seen as a Ruto boy. So the mountain cannot accept a person like that. And remember, Gachagua will be fighting to go away with the mountain vote. So you need a man with proven experience, a grassroots mobilizer, who can try to wrestle part of those votes. From who? From Gachagua. And that's why I see Mwangi Kiunjuri. Study him. Take time to look at Mwangi Kiunjuri's history up to now.
But it is said that the gender card could come into play.
It is not about gender. Hakuna mambo. It's not about gender. It is about survival. When it is time for survival, you don't put those small things into consideration.
Gender is inconsequential?
The mountain will be looking for a replacement who can fight. Not a flower girl.
Njamba?
Not a yes person. Not a boy. They were looking for a really man.
Modamaki?
Yes, they will look for a fighter. A man who can stand up against authority. And any of these people do not meet that. So Ruto has his work cut out for him in terms of a replacement if they remove Gachagua.
In the event, maybe unlikely event that Gachagua is impeached from office, what are the chances, how thick or thin are the chances that he could rise again from the ashes and be that political matchmaker in this country?
First of all, the whole process has built Gachagua beyond explanation. They have catapulted him into outer space. He's already larger than life.
Larger than life?
Yeah. Gachagua, who only a few months ago was somebody people would laugh at. Today, he's larger than life.
Not even Ishungwa can flatten him.
Don't forget about Ishungwa. There's nobody who can flatten Ishungwa easily. He's now Gachagua. He's now topping the. That's what I'm saying. Replacing. You need somebody who can try, not even floor, just try. It can't be these fellows.
It can't be floor girls.
No, it can't be floor girls. You need a man.
There you have it. President Ruto needs a man if indeed he wants to flatten DP Rigathi Gachagua. There you have it. That has been our conversation today on Richard Mwenje Exclusive. Do engage us. I'm at Mwenje Richard on X and on TikTok. Get Professor at Herman Manyora on X, on TikTok as well. Let's engage.